Welcome back to the Quiksilver Pro. The superheat is hitting the lineup now with 3 former event champs about to do battle for a place in the quarterfinals. John Florence on fire in this contest, putting together the highest heat score total. Mick Fanning, the most winning surfer ever at the Quiksilver Pro, and Joel Parkinson, the style master, who's also had a victory here. As we see Fanning getting things started early here, driving off the bottom. A bit of release in that first turn. Loads up on the bottom turn and attacks the lip once again. So a quick start for the 3-time world champ.
He's chomping up points too. By each round he makes, he's taking away points from these. They're valuable points.
Well, this guy's chasing numbers too. Just gets a little bit lost on the bottom turn, riding out of that big move, but explosive on the first turn, Fanning.
Well, I was going to touch on Joel and what he's been able to do just for me at this event. You know, his forehand carves that, you know, we've always been admired by. But something that the reason why I was feeling so good about what he's doing here is that when he goes into those forehand carves, there's a couple of them that happened in the previous heat today and even in round 1, where he starts his carves and he's able to get water moving out of that rail quicker than anybody. And so it literally starts into the turn and there's water flying off the rail, and then he holds that rail the entire time. So he is moving more water than anybody, and he makes it look so easy and smooth. But again, just watch how early, when he goes into those forehand carves, if he gets that opportunity, how early that water flies off the rail.
Joel sitting in a pretty good spot on the ratings too, just inside the top 10, and a chance for some movement for him as well, as we see John Florence getting things started here. Good looking wall stretching out. Swings the tail around a couple of times.
You're cleared,
loading
kid.
up. He's going to go to the alley-oop. Gets the finish. A high strike rate in this event for all those big moves.
And gets a final maneuver in at the end of that. Now, of course, John, so crazy how consistent he is at pulling those big moves off.
He's got a good rhythm going at the moment, building confidence, it seems, with each ride. John Florence started pretty well too, though.
Yeah, you need to say that this wave probably still going to be the best wave of the heat. Probably going to be one of those big numbers that we've seen from John this entire event, and actually this entire season. Watch the alley-oop. See where his eyes are. He's picking the ramp, and at this point, he switches the head and goes straight to the landing. Everything else, not the highest of alley-oops, but again, spotting the landing, and comes out of it straight into a bottom turn. And this section's already coming down, and he sees how late he is, but he gets the board up into the lip, literally hops it up onto that section, and gets that board up and over somehow. And look at the score.
A 9.33 for Florence. You know, it's rare to see someone sustain that heat score average up around 16 points through an entire season. He's actually improving his heat score average at this contest. And Mick leads this heat at the moment. But Mick's got some pretty horrible memories of Bells Beach and a 4th round heat with John Florence down there, where he had a lead and looked strong for a win. And John came back and snatched it to move directly through to the quarters. Of course, the yellow jersey's up for grabs at the moment for Florence. If he can jump round 5, he's going to Portugal as the ratings leader. Well,
and looking at the score needed, a 5.7 for this, he is going to be in the lead and doing exactly what he needs to do in order to retain or get back that Jeep leader jersey. Like you had mentioned, he takes the heat win here. That's exactly what happens.
Well, for a couple of events there, Pete, John was in danger of falling down the ratings. He carried great form through the Australian League, even better than the previous season. But then had a couple of 13ths in Brazil and Fiji. Joel Parkinson up at the moment, trying to get himself out of combination here. And with that in mind, he's being ultra aggressive, really linking nicely through to the inside. Big finish on the closeout.
That was a good wave. That's going to put him right in it. Probably close to excellent. Right there. Again, that first turn, I'm just amazed at how quickly the water flies up there. I mean, because it feels like he puts, you know, even though it feels like he's back-footed, he really isn't. And as soon as he transitions that rail to the inside rail, that's when you see the water instantly shoot off the rail, especially here. Wang. You know, and it's great variety here. And look how deep his bottom turns are. Such good glide. That was a great wave, top to bottom. John Florence up the beach by himself. Nice little forehand air spin. And again, completes this ride. It's going to be another pretty good number, and it's going to get him out front. Again, watch the technique here. This is the air grab. You see how he releases when he lands, and that helps to balance his top body. Easily he could hold on all the way through, but it's not going to allow him to get right back into that bottom turn if he holds on to it too long. I mean, if he holds on all the way through that maneuver, that's all he's going to get. Whereas if he releases like that, he's able to absorb the landing and straight into a bottom turn.
Here goes Fanning, 11 minutes to go here, trying to chase down an 8.07 now. He's been pushed back in the second spot. John Florence out the back with priority, snagged the lead with his last ride, just a 6.93.
Just, but you know what? John's, he knows that that's probably not enough. Yeah, doing something outside of surfing is it has to benefit you.
And it wasn't about bulking up for Fanning. It was about injury prevention. And he hasn't had too many injuries throughout the rest of his career since that hamstring off the bone. We see him at the moment taking to the air. A nice air reverse on the inside. And Fanning was chasing an 8.07. Not to be scoffed at, that little finish.
No, and especially when you keep it with the first couple moves there as well. That was very strong, and the air, like you said, nothing to scoff at. That was a good one.
Didn't even get to mention Joel Parkinson in that story. He had the same thing. He actually really identified Mick's performance going to another level. And when he started training, he got closer to that world title, lost one to Mick.
Well, I mean, he actually ended up paddling the channel in that year, correct? I mean, he going for it. He's watched the replay here. Beautiful first snap, and then, you know what? He doesn't think it's going to be enough points there, so he goes for the air reverse, and we don't get to see a lot of that from Mick, but he definitely has it in his arsenal. Oh, this nice little view from up top.
Sick one. I think Jack Freestone can probably take a bit of credit for this. Those two have been working together on Mick's airs.
Are they doing video work, or?
Well, they surf a lot of heat drills together, and as a result, you know, Jack's constantly pushing Mick, and
I like it.
Mick actually is about to drop a good number here. Needs an 8.07.
Oh, he's going to get his best number. It's going to be pushing John Florence to a point where he needs to go excellent again. I like it. The superheat unfolding in a big way.
An 8.83 for Fanning. He's back in front. John Florence now looking for a 7.7. Joel Parkinson needs a 9.16. Along with Jean Deroux and Nat Young, who've been putting up some pretty solid scores. Here goes Florence now, drawing off the bottom. First turn is solid. Needs a 7.7 here to get back in front. Takes to the air, and he'll ride out. So 2 maneuvers, but what a combination. And he's got to be feeling it. It's not too often you see him playing, but that was solid and under pressure. Not a lot of time left on the clock.
And he comboed it with a nice snap, but he missed a turn because he knew that there was the perfect ramp at the end of that one. And with that ramp, a little bigger air than we saw from Mick Fanning. Check it out again. So important to get at least a solid move in. That snap right there, you could have seen him go up and over, but no, he saw the perfect ramp up and over. Frontside grab, really clean on the right out of that. You'd have to say that's going to be a 7.7. Check it again. Gets the grab as well. See how he gets it? He pops it up into his hand and then releases, and so he gets the nice landing.
Wearing red but seeing yellow, John Florence. that should be the number. 7.7, 2 big turns. And Mick Fanning's seen it all unfold before, leading John Florence in a round 4 heat earlier this year at Bells. John took to the air.
He's got to wait a little longer to put that 8.83 up before, you know, don't give John any more time.
Well, Mick will be out there searching for a score. Joel might be out of reach after this number drops, but Mick might have a shot at it in the final stages. 40 seconds remaining here. And Florence is going to keep busy. Can he go better? He's about to put away a 9. The score's still coming through. 25 seconds to go. Mick's going to need something huge on the outside. A 9.23, so Fanning chasing a 9.73, but not a lot of time left. 15 seconds to go. Joel Parkinson's comboed. He's out of this one. Will he give his mate Mick a wave if it rolls in?
Well, no time.
Amazing stuff.
Hey, did that heat unfold how we would have liked it? All those surfers in contention till the very end. Exciting stuff. Seesaw battle between John and Mick. That was fun.
Comes a moment in the season, a world title campaign for any individual. And I think that John Florence is obviously putting the foot down at the perfect time. He's not just sneaking through these heats, Pete. He's smashing his competitors. It's one of those dominant runs that we've seen him get on. A big heat score total, another 18-plus heat. And Florence will be wearing the yellow jersey when we get to Portugal. He is going to be the new Jeep ratings leader.